is new to our center, and so she's getting an airing right up here on the platform and letting everyone hear from her. And so we also have New Member Sunday. So in part of our service, we will interrupt the regularly scheduled programming, and we are welcoming new people into our center. And we haven't done this in a while, so I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's a wonderful thing to do. And so that's going to be part of our service. And then at the end of the service, we are having a breakfast. It is a Sunday breakfast after service, and we haven't done that since, well, a long time. And so we're all going to come together in Richelieu Hall and have breakfast. And we're just going to socialize and enjoy the whole thing. As it turns out, because we have childcare on Sunday and because she is here for a while, anyone that you know that might want to come to breakfast, we're going to have childcare for that. She's here until 2 o'clock, so which is plenty of time, and she will take care and watch children that we need to have. If you want to have breakfast by yourself and let your children do what they want to over to the side, then that's fun too. So that's just an option that we haven't had available even back when we did have breakfast. So think about that. We also have, moving forward into the week, the Tuesday morning class is a book reading, and they are reading the book called Giving God a Good Time by Pat Campbell, Dr. Pat Campbell. And she's a fun lady, and she writes with humor. I don't know that she would know how to do it any other way. That's the way she is. So that class begins at 10 o'clock. They sit right there in the foyer and take turns reading in the book and talking about what they're doing. And they really love that book. It's a rich class. And then at 11 o'clock on Tuesdays, we're still continuing with the yoga class. And I had to miss it yesterday because I had to go get these Band-Aids put on. And so I missed having yoga yesterday, and I really miss it because I think yoga is wonderful. Yoga for life is one of the things I think about. Bring a mat, and the class is $10, and there's plenty of room in there for more people. We are still working to schedule that balance class. It's finding a time when she and Monica can work together and have it be daytime. That's where that's what they're doing. There's no less a desire to do the balance class. And so then we move forward to Wednesday today, but next Wednesday is the 12th of October, and we continue with the book reading called Learn to Live by Irvin Seal, and it is a metaphysical look at the parables. And it is really, for me, it is just a magnificent experience. We had that this morning, and it is, it's a richer idea, even if you know the parables. It has been a richer idea. It's been a richer idea for me, and it's just something to consider. We read the book right online. It's a Zoom class, so you don't have to have the book. You just show up, and we take care of that. And then we're back to our Wednesday service next Wednesday, right here on YouTube as well as in the room. So that's pretty much what we have going on. I think I've talked about everything except Sunday week, as we often say in the South. That's October the 16th. We are having an annual meeting. It's the first annual meeting we've had since 2019. So we are having an annual meeting for the years 2020 and 2021. That's what we're going to be doing on October the 16th. We have some new board members that we will be asking the congregation to approve, and we're talking about things that have happened in the center, because we've actually gotten some things done in spite of being closed so much of the time, and we will share all of the things that were happening during that time. And so that's October the 16th. We are eager to have that and to share, because I know many people have questions or are eager to hear all the news that we have. So that's what we're doing on October the 16th. So without too much further, let me just take a moment to speak to you about Reverend Valerie. Not all of you were here Sunday, so I won't necessarily say as much as I did on Sunday. But the main thing is that this job that I am interim minister of actually is a big, big job, and there are lots of elements in it that can use some help. And so God in his wisdom directed me to the person that I know is going to be just the perfect person to do this job for right now. And her name is Valerie Reeves, and she's coming in as executive director. So a lot of the organizational work that we needed organizing, I could tell you, is going to begin to be done. And Reverend Valley has a lot of experience with youth, so that opening the youth church is a primary important thing. And we needed more staff in order to be able to do that too. So she's a Jenny, do we say a Jill of all trades? Is that the way we say it? And that she is a wonderful minister as well. And so I'm just excited, and I won't talk anymore. It's her turn. So be welcome. Reverend Valerie Reeves.
Yeah, Jill of all trades. I was crawling under stuff today, so I got a little messy, but life is good. So let's take a moment to just get really centered here. We'll just breathe in the fullness of life for a moment. Just breathing in, letting go of anything that does not serve us, just putting it down, letting it go, being fully present here in this moment. Knowing that there is one mind, one power, one infinite intelligence. Knowing that it flows in, as, and through each and every one of us, through our hearts, our souls, our minds, our bodies. Knowing that we are absolutely connected in this oneness, this cosmic soup, this goodness. Knowing that each one of us is affecting the universe. Knowing that we are affecting it with love, with peace, with harmony, and with joy. As I speak my word and claim that today is the best day ever. As we really allow ourselves to put things down, step into the divinity of the I am that we are beautifully and brilliantly. Celebrating the I am, being in that space of gratitude. And in great, great gratitude for each and every person here, each and every person within my voice. I just release knowing wonderful and divine things are happening as we anchor this in mind by saying, and so it is. And so it is. So a good day today. I am talking about in the flow, and I just moved back down here from Oregon where there's not as much traffic. So when I was driving down the 405 this morning, I was thinking, oh yeah, I need to be in the flow. And part of being in the flow and being open to our goodness is putting down our judgment, a judgment about ourselves, our judgment about other things. Because the minute we have a judgment about anything, then we find all of the evidence to support that. Have you ever noticed that? It's like I have a judgment about something and the universe says, yes, that's true. And then it just keeps showing up and keeps showing up. So if I am willing to put down my judgment and be that space of love and openness, and especially with ourselves, do you ever notice that maybe you judge yourself worse than you would judge anybody else? Sometimes we do that. So finding ways to put that down, but to find that love space. And I like to think that that's why I'm here. I like to see people in their highest light. So let me see you in your highest light, always, regardless of any appearance of anything. Allowing love and being that space of love. As Catherine was talking about, I'm being executive director. I'm thinking, I'm creative, so my desk is a collage of all the goodness and all the good things. And yet, many, many things get done, and I'm knowing that wonderful things are happening here at the center. And we've all been through a lot, from things that have happened here at the center to COVID, and everyone's come through it. So knowing that collectively we're creating, it's like, what am I ready to create next? And I want you to think about, what do I want you to know about me? I am excited to get to learn and to know everybody. So what would you like me to know about you? One of my favorite quotes is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Who you are, speak so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. It's that collectiveness of everything that we are that shows up. So am I showing up as love? Am I showing up as judgment? And am I showing up as resistance? And finding ways to put that stuff down and be at that space of love. Now, I've worked at many different centers, and what I found is that the minute I started judging myself, I'd find all of the people that were in agreement with my judgment. It's like, oh, that wasn't my best talk today. And I was like, yeah, I noticed that. Thank you for noticing. So finding ways every single day to love ourselves, because we are each a gift. And what gift am I bringing forward today? Bringing my best self, my love self. I love that Terry Cole Whitaker used to say, you spot it, you got it. And I remember that every time I start judging something out there, that, okay, if I'm judging that about someone, then it must be prevalent in myself. If I'm thinking, oh, they're not communicating well, perhaps I'm not communicating well myself. So how can I communicate better? And how can I continue to love myself to the next level and the next level? And forgive ourselves from the past, because we tend to carry all of that stuff with us. The old hurts, the judgments that we had, the opinions that we decided about ourselves. So finding ways to put that down. And to know that today is a brand new baby day, and who am I showing up as today and being in the flow, regardless of what is said out there. Many of you have probably listened to Les Brown, wonderful motivational speaker. And I remember years ago him telling the story about how he really wanted to be a disc jockey. And the only way to do that, practice and then go show up. So he went to the radio station and he said, hey, you have any jobs here? No, we don't have any jobs. Do you know anything about this? About disc jockeying? No, but if I never try, I can never learn. So they're like, no, we don't have any jobs. So he didn't take it personal, he just left. And the next day he showed up again, like he had never seen them before. Hey, do y'all have any jobs here? Hey, didn't we just see you yesterday? Yeah, but I didn't know. Maybe somebody got fired. Maybe somebody died. I don't know. And they said, no, we told you. We don't have any jobs here. So he left, didn't take it personal. The next day, he showed up again. Hey, do y'all have any jobs here? Didn't I just tell you the day before and the day before that we didn't have any jobs? And he's like, I know, but I just never know. You never know. And he's like, kid, make yourself useful. Go get us some food. So he became their errand boy. And he would watch in amazement and see how the disc jockeys are doing the records, how they're segueing everything. He is watching, and he is there, he is learning, and he is practicing. So one Saturday, when no other disc jockey was around or available, he was there in the station, and there was a disc jockey named Rock who had been drinking a little too much. And the owner of the radio station called and he said, hey, Les, Rock can't finish his show. And he said, yeah, I know. And he's like, well, is there any other disc jockey available? Could you give them a call? And he's like, yeah, I'll give him a call. So he got off the phone, he waited a few minutes and said, now he must be thinking I'm crazy. I have an opportunity. So he called him back and he said, no, there is nobody else available. And he said, do you know how to segue the records? And he said, yeah. And he said, okay, get on there, segue the records, don't say anything. He's like, okay. He got on there, he couldn't wait to get behind everything. And he started out, hey, it's me, LB, Triple P, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, there will be none after me. That makes me the one and only, young and single, ready to mingle, duly qualified to bring you action. I am your love machine. He was hungry. He was ready. He didn't take no for an answer. He had a vision, and he just kept moving forward with it, not taking it personal that they're saying, no, there's not a job available, not letting that be a barrier in any way, shape, or form. It's like, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. Now, many of us will take that no, and that becomes our, oh, yeah, that's not for me. It's not going to work. And then we talk ourselves out of our greatness. What is it that maybe you put down and decided, yeah, I guess it's not really for me? Pick it back up. Tune into yourself. What are you loving to do? What are you wanting to do? What is your soul calling for? Because our soul is always calling for something. More love. Let me give more love. More action. Let me get more involved. Let me step out of my comfort zone. We all have that little comfort zone. Keeps us in our box. Now, when I talk about comfort zone, I like to think of my sister trying to be in the flow, and she had finished and got her teaching credential. But she had waitressed, putting herself through college, and she was in this comfort zone. I know this job. I don't know how to teach. And there was so much fear there that it took her 2 years after she had her teaching credential before she would step out of that comfort zone to actually go teach. I kept saying, go teach, you're gonna have so much more fun. Go teach, you're trained for it, you know how to do this. But that familiar space kept holding her back. And when she finally pushed herself through that comfort zone, she's like, yes, I don't know what made me wait for so long. Sometimes we just hold ourselves back and give ourselves these messages that say, not good enough, don't know how. It's like, yeah, I don't know how to do a lot of things, but I'll fumble my way through. Somebody is always there to teach me. Things are always working out for me. These are wonderful mantras I love to have. Things are always working out for me. And I've had some incredible stories of things that have happened because I know that things are always working out for me. And sometimes when I'm calling for something that I didn't even know I was really calling for, it shows up. And many of us have probably had that experience. It's like I'm just in that gratitude space, and the more we can put down judgment and barriers, and the more we can step into the gratitude. If I can do nothing else but go to that gratitude space, I am so grateful for this day. I'm so grateful for the beings of light that come around, that show me love. How many? The universe is calling, literally, right? So finding ways to hear that call, listen to that call, follow that energy. I had moved to San Jose, California, and my oldest son is an actor here in town. His acting job, he's Bumblebee Transformer at Universal Studios theme park. So he was traveling with the costume, and I had gone on with national seminars where I would just travel and talk. I've been to every single state in Canada a few times, doing workshops, all-day workshops. So much fun, so great. Travel talk, what more could you ask for, right? Well, I was thinking, wow, he gets to go to Florida with the costume. He gets to go to London with the costume. I just haven't seen him for a long time. I need to get down to California, or down to Southern California, and see him again sometime, because we had had some great conversations. And I'm on a flight to Corpus Christi in Texas, and I'm on layover in Houston. And I call my son. I'm like, hey, how's the travel going? How's it going? Because I knew he was on his way to Florida, and he's like, I'm on layover in Houston. I'm like, what? I'm on layover in Houston. I said, what gate are you at? And he was at C, and I was at A, so it's like, let me hop a train, I'll be right over there. And the friends that were traveling with him, the other actors, they just thought he was making stuff up, because that's his tendency to do that. He's like, oh, I'm going to go see my mom. She's here at the airport. And it's like, seriously? So the synchronicity of everything that had to happen for us to be at the same point in time when we're traveling different spaces, same day, same time, on layover in Houston. To me, Spirit is so good. So many wonderful things happen, and maybe our heart's calling for something, and then this shows up. So being open and in that miracle readiness, I am ready for miracles to happen. My heart, my spirit, my energy knows exactly what's right and perfect for me. And knowing that we may not be able to connect the dots going forward, but when we look back, it's like, oh, why did that happen? And I can look back at things in life, and it's like, oh, at the time, I was really frustrated that happened. But I'm talking about some things that, some things that happened that were not my favorite, but it's like, okay, if that wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't have gone here, and I wouldn't have gone here, and I wouldn't have met this person and that person, and had these wonderful experiences. I can connect the dots looking back and saying, Spirit was getting me there the easiest, softest, gentlest way it could, based on all of the stuff within me that it had to go through to get me there. Because if it would just give us sometimes a direct path, there might be too many blocks within us. So it's like, how can I put those blocks down and just be in that gratitude and that love, and listen to that inner knower that just knows that it knows that it knows the right and perfect steps. And it may seem, okay, my goal's over here, but I'm going this way. What's happening? It's like, okay, Spirit's getting me there. It's just taking me on an interesting route so I can gain other tools. I can meet other people that are going to touch my life in different ways that'll move me here or move me there, to the right and perfect space always. So I am always declaring I am always in the right and perfect space. And I'm always meeting the right and perfect people for the highest and best, always. One of my mantras that I got from Shaka Gawain from Creative Visualization, one of the first books I read in metaphysics was the Creative Visualization by Shaka Gawain. And she talks about loving our power, trusting our power, knowing it's the power of the universe, knowing that we attract other powerful people that love and support our power. And just staying in that mantra, I'm knowing that that's happening all the time, that I am trusting, loving, knowing. So I have moved quite a bit. My grandmother, who lived to be 103, she was still driving at 102. And she was a postmaster until she was like 75. And she said, I would have worked another 10 years if I would have known that I was going to be so sharp. So trusting that space and not listening to the world say, oh, retire. She really wished that she would have, but she continued to garden and did a great job. And she once asked me, she said, when are you going to just settle down and stay with one job? I said, I'm kind of a creative spirit. I like to meet a lot of people. I like to do a lot of things. We had gypsies in our family, didn't we? And she's like, no, we didn't. She had a different idea of gypsies. And I think the more I met somebody that wants to get around, somebody that wants to take the love from each space and go to the next space and the next space. I was actually introduced to this philosophy when I was in high school and had a lot of wonderful things happen. And then I moved back to the Midwest, and in Nebraska, where I was born and mostly raised, I moved back to Nebraska, and there were not any Science of Mind centers back there. So my sister would send me these tapes, and we'd be talking about all these different things. And I met some wonderful people that were in metaphysics that were hidden in the little trenches of Nebraska. But being a farm girl from Nebraska, I really understood planting seeds and watching that grow. And my dad, he would grow wheat, corn, barley, and once in a while you'd see this beautiful wheat field, and right in the middle was a corn stalk. It's like, what happened, Dad? It's like, well, the wheat wasn't pure. So once in a while, our thoughts aren't totally pure, so what we're growing in our life, it's like, oh, I didn't mean for that wheat or for that corn stalk to grow in this area. So let me stay focused on what I love. And let me also be aware of the questions that I'm asking myself. The questions such as, why am I here? What am I doing? Let me change that question. And there's a wonderful little book called Change Your Question, Change Your Life. So sometimes we're just not asking ourselves the right question. So what am I to do here? Universe brought me right here. What is mine to do? And let me open myself up for that love, for that joy, for that excitement, and for the experience. Stay in the flow. And be mindful when we have a block that's in the flow. And part of that block, again, could be judgment. Because again, once we have that judgment, then I look for all of the evidence to support that. And I want to be able to be in that open space, in the flow. Like the beautiful river flowing. And sometimes, or the traffic, and it flows, right? And sometimes the river is flowing so well and just so gently, and sometimes it's a little more rapid. But just breathing it all in, being excited about it, and being joyful about it. So I really invite each and every one of you to be in that space of gratitude today, in that flow. What can I see? I had a friend that used to say that every single day she would look at what are the 10 gifts from the universe that I saw today. It could be the sunshine, a new face, a smiling face, someone that said hello, the best strawberries ever, whatever it is. Where am I in the flow? And where am I seeing that gratitude? And where are the gifts that are showing up? Because every single day is a gift. And Terry Cole Whitaker, I want to go back to this just because she said, you know, if you're having one of those days and it's not the best day, put a smile on your face. Fake it until you make it. It is a proven fact that you cannot have a depressed thought if you have a smile on your face. You could try it. Put a smile on your face. Think about something horrible, everything that's happening in Florida. And it changes your facial expression. We can't keep that smile if we have a depressed thought. So it's like, I know that wonderful things are happening regardless of how the appearances may be out there. So let me step into that space of love and gratitude. Let me put a smile on my face because I'm telling my body I'm happy, life is good, and then I find all of the evidence to support that. The evidence to support the amazingness that each one of us are. Because there's no one like you. One of the greatest things that I heard when I came to this teaching was question everything. Don't take anybody's word for it. Question everything. And then tune into yourself. What works for you? And then also be mindful of how you're talking about yourself. Because we can talk ourselves down or we can talk ourselves up. And I'm not talking in an egotistical way. I'm talking in a love way. That Spirit gave you this gift of yourself. So celebrate that. Celebrate that gift. All that it is and all that it isn't. And heaven forbid we compare ourselves to anyone else, because there is no one else like you. You're divine and perfect just as you are. Knowing that for you and for me and for all of us, that each person is a unique divine expression. So as we go forth in the day, let's make sure that we're celebrating that divine expression that we are. Now, this is my first Wednesday, so I'm not sure really where the flow is. Is it time to, okay, he just gave me lights. Thank you. Grant was teaching me the cameras and stuff last Sunday a little bit and then a little bit today, and it's like, okay, there's certain things that happen. So at this time, this is the time in the service where we do our offering. Is that right? Okay, yes. All right. So let's say this all together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. All those who give, all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. Knowing that as we give, we absolutely do receive. Knowing that we are blessed by the center, blessed by the community of coming together. And that's the one thing I really love about Centers for Spiritual Living is everyone from all different walks of life. Whatever our belief system is, we can show up and have great communication, great community. Yeah. So I know that on Wednesdays they do a question answer. If anybody has any questions, comments, words of wisdom. Okay, I think Grant is coming down with a, he's doing this. Did I rush you too much?
No, it's okay. I'm just doing a lot of jobs today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
I like your energy and what you said about farming. I came into some land about 2 years ago in North Dakota, and they planted, my cousins rent from me, and they planted canola, wheat, barley, and something else I can't remember. But it's interesting about the seeds. I've been praying on the seeds, and that when I pray for the seeds to come into harvest, I'm thinking of myself too. And I really enjoyed I just really enjoyed what you said. It was really interesting.
Great, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was, my dad used to say his best time with Spirit was when he was out on a tractor. And being from the Midwest, where it's more of the Bible Belt there, when he passed away, I wanted to do part of his memorial, and so I worked with the country community church, and the pastor there, I was talking to him, and I said, well, there are many paths to God, and he said, oh no, there's only one path. I'm like, that to me just feels very selfish, that it's like my way is the only way. It's like saying this path is the only path we can take. To me, there's so many paths, and whatever path you choose is perfect, and keeping our seeds as pure as possible, which means being aware when we're planting those seeds of what I'm wanting, making sure that we're nurturing and loving that and giving it sunlight and giving it water and giving it love so it'll grow to everything that we're desiring. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I know how to throw bales of hay, so it's been back in the day. We used to stack the bales. Oh, that was so much work. I'm not offering my assistance, but I will bless you, knowing good things are happening. Yeah, great. Anyone else have a question, comment, words of wisdom? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Just a moment, would you mind?
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you I appreciate your wisdom and your love and your sharing with us here. I love you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. Yeah.
When you have someone come in that you don't know anything about, you think, and I said, I had met you the other day, and I said, I have to hear her persona. And your persona is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I once read that the word for enthusiasm is spirit flowing through you. And so it's like, okay, when we have enthusiasm, spirit's flowing through. So let me be that space of enthusiasm and love. And the love in me recognizes the love in you. So thank you.
And then we also have Kate from online in the same vein, just wanted to say, she wanted to welcome you here and say that she really needed this lesson, and she's going to rewatch it because there's so many golden nuggets. Blessings to all. Kate from Connecticut. Then Sydney also says, Reverend Val, you are a gift to RBCSL.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I concur with Kate. I totally am looking forward to rewatching this. And I wanted to tell everyone that I am taking care of Dorothy Nystrom, and I will rewatch it with her this afternoon. And anyone who wants to create a little video on my iPhone, it really brings a spark to her day to have somebody saying, hey, Dorothy, we miss you, or whatever. So anybody who wants to make a video, I'm here. My name's Deb.
Beautiful. Thanks, Deb. Hi, Dorothy. Love and blessings to you, for sure. Thank you.
I, too, am Kathleen from Connecticut, and my daughter was in college out in Nebraska, and I second and third what Diane has said. Welcome to the center.
Thank you. Kathy from Connecticut. Where in Nebraska? I have to... Fremont. Okay. I'm from Chadron, northwest corner, so I know Fremont. Other end. Yeah.
Well, excuse me, my name is Ann, and I just wanted to say, reflecting the feeling that everybody seems to be expressing here today, but your presence is so apparent on meeting you. It's like, oh, well, that's love at first sight. Yeah, And so that's really wonderful. And although I just get to come here on Wednesdays because actually I work, I'm a practitioner and ministerial assistant at Founders Church in Los Angeles. And so I'm busy. It just happens to be that Wednesday is my day off. And so this is really wonderful. But also I would just like everybody's consciousness to assist me, I guess, in knowing that the issue that I'm going through right now is being taken care of, that I don't have to take into my own body and self other people's negativity and fear, but that I do have to know and pray and feel deeply that I am being guided for any action that I do need to take, that I'm not just passive, but that I am able to use that, and that's what I need. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And I am knowing inner knower is guiding and directing you, that you're divinely blessed, and it's already done. Yeah.
Bravo, Ann.
Yeah.
We've been friends forever. I'm Beverly, and I've just moved back in the area, and I just love this story I'm going to tell. Deb, who just shared, encouraged me to share, because my good friend in Olympia told me there's a Deb that's moved back into Redondo Beach, and I want you to meet her. And what I love that Deb did, she contacted me, and that's the action step. And then we met each other, and then I went off to Olympia to visit Cynthia. So I'm walking into my apartment, and Deb comes out of this door, and I go, Deb. She goes, Beverly. And she said, well, I'm looking after Dorothy. And when I met Deb, she had said, I need to be moving, and I want to be a caregiver, and I'm good at it. And she's telling me, and I'm going prayers to that. I mean, don't limit spirit.
Right.
I mean, are you kidding me? So anyway, but it does match your go with the flow. Because one of my favorite phrases of all times is don't limit spirit. Deb and I couldn't have come up with, I didn't even know Dorothy belonged to this church, and I had come to this church in the late 60s. Wow. I'm very young. Anyway, but I wanted to share that because that says go in the flow. And you'd never know. And I love your Houston story. Yeah. Well, thank you anyway.
Thank you.
Good thoughts. And I love Ann dearly. We've been friends forever. And I sat in the car and I said, Ann, what do you want? That's a hard one for both of us. It's what does everybody want? And then we know what everyone wants. And someone asked us what we want. We go, really? Anyway, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that gave me truth tingles because it's like the synchronicity of life, that everything that shows up to connect and the willingness to reach out, because sometimes we block that. But also, what would I love? I love that question more than anything. It's like, here's what I want, here's what I would love. Because many times we put so many limits because we don't know how to make that happen or we don't know how to create it. But it's like, what would I love? And let me just celebrate that and sit in with that and embrace myself. I almost want to marinate in that. It's like, okay, in that love space of what would I love? Whole, perfect, beautiful body, life expressing joy. Every cell in my body is happy, healthy, and tuning in to that inner knower that guides and directs always. So I'm knowing that for all of us. Yeah, great. Anyone else? Comments, questions? Yes, great. Okay, she's going to keep me on task. Time for closing prayer? I'll do it. Let's do it. Okay. So let's take all of this love and this beauty in this room. In the words of the great poet Hafez, do you know how beautiful you are? I think not, my dear. For if you did, you would know that there are saints bowing in the mountains, worshiping your existence. Celebrate that. Celebrate you. Celebrate every cell in your being. Knowing that spirit is flowing through with ease, with grace, with healing, with openness, and with that joy. As we step into that childlike spirit, knowing that all things are possible. And in great gratitude for each and every person here, I just release my word knowing all is well, as we all anchor this in mind together by saying, and so it is. And so it is. All right. Thank you. There's no music. I've been listening to that song from Fame. Sometimes I wonder who I am, where do I fit in? That mantra keeps going through my mind, but it's like, we're always in the right and perfect place. So life is good. Have the best day ever. Thank you.